Chicago's teachers union leader argues teachers should strike if anyone tries to make them return to the classroom because it isn't safe. She made the argument from Puerto Rico, where she traveled to celebrate New Year's. So a teachers union, let's repeat, a teachers union leader. We'll read in the details here, but a teachers union leader, yet again, another one of those, just like these politicians, just like these public officials. Hey, I enjoy the time off. Y'all y'all the peasants, I need y'all to sit down and shut the hell up. Meanwhile, what I'm going to go do, I'm going to other cities. I'm going to big dinners. I'm going to other countries. That's what they do. But let's read it. As actually reported by Joe Kisley of Outkick. So Chicago Teachers Union, Sarah Chambers, who has been railing for stay remote until it's safe, hashtag school year for Windy City teachers, was posting social media images Thursday from Puerto Rico, where she was ringing in 2021. So she said, hey, y'all need to, hey, it's not safe. What do you mean we got to actually teach children in the classroom? It's not safe. I'm going to Puerto Rico. Chambers fired up Twitter Thursday to defend her vacation, explaining how careful she was following protocols to make her Puerto Rican getaway a reality. I got 4 COVID tests, 2 rapid, 2 PCR before coming here, and wore 2 masks, N95. Scientists say airplanes are safer than grocery stores because airplanes have ICU level filtration and everyone wears masks. My doc said it's extremely unlikely for me to get COVID again since I had it so badly. So you already had COVID. I had COVID 60 plus days of COVID. I had COVID 60 plus days of COVID where I could barely walk or talk. Oh, I think she's dramatizing that. For 2 weeks, I stayed at a private Airbnb, only getting groceries and delivery. And now come to the fun death threats. DMs already got one. That's always interesting how they seem to get all these death threats. I almost think those, look, maybe they are. I think that a lot of them are manufactured though, where they just like dramatize the event. But photos posted from Sarah's Instagram account show that the special ed teacher smiling while enjoying a beautiful late December 2020 day in the tropics. Meanwhile, Sarah brags in her Twitter bio that she has led 4 strikes and is a socialist. Wow, okay, that I didn't know. Which doesn't surprise me. Of course she's a socialist. And of course she would advocate for the system as such where she doesn't necessarily have to work in the same capacity as she did before, working from home, working less, because of the current setup, right? And that is that the classrooms aren't open. It goes right into the subject matter that we just had with Corey, which you should watch that if you haven't. Sarah's ready to strike again if Chicago public schools sends children back to in-school learning. I'm a high school teacher, but I will vote yes to strike if they try to make elementary students cluster students and their educators return. We are all in this together. Clearly we ain't, fool. Like, I'm so sick of that damn term. Hashtag, catchphrase, and slogan. We're all in this together as they sit up here and demand that you listen to them. We all into this together. Nah, bro, that's not how it works. So, okay, what's the, and of course, he still has this documents now. Finally, back in October, the educator tweeted, best part of remote learning is kitty cuddle. So, you know, they're loving this. They're getting off on this idea. There's the Instagram photo, it looks to be, where she's just chilling in Puerto Rico as she's telling people that they can't go to school and stuff. Now, not only is it bad optics, and all this information is here, you can go over at Outkick.com if you want to check that out. The problem here is that it's one of those things, and the reason why a lot of these people are able to get away with this type of stuff is because they in some capacity get their money by way of the government, and it goes right back to what we were talking about with Corey DeAngelis, and that is It's not, we don't have a setup where you fund as a parent what happens with your kid's education. Meaning that if that school that you take your kid to demanded that, there was just a complete change, right? Of the flipped on its head in terms of how that you guys were educating the child or the children. You don't get to say, okay, I'm withdrawing my student and I'm taking my money with me to put it in, let's say, some other institution that is going to do in if that's the way that your child, let's say, learns better in school learning. You can't do that. And it goes about the inefficiency for you guys that have heard me arguing about decentralization and all of that. It speaks right to this, how centralization, monopolization encourages inefficiency. Now, I also encourage what is corrupt, but more so, it encourages inefficiency. So there's nothing you can do about it, basically. Your teacher or your kid's teacher has decided, or groups, unions, whatever, have decided that they don't want to do that anymore. There's no withdrawing your money. They don't have to adjust based on the demand of a marketplace. So what do they get to do? Get to remain inefficient. They get to remain exactly as they are because the money is still coming in. It's taxed or printed, but taxed. There's no withdrawing of the funds by way of the teachers, the parents. There's none of that. It's my way or the highway. And you can sit here and argue, you can vote and do all of these things, but ultimately the decision is up to the state. And the unions have them by the balls. This is why it's a much more preferable system to have markets make decisions, not bureaucrats, not a handful of teachers or the unions. Wouldn't it be such an awesome thing for us to sit up here and be like, hey, you are doing things that I don't like. I'm going to take my dollar, put it elsewhere. Wouldn't that be such an awesome thing? We do it for food. We do it for retail stores. We do it for a multitude of different things. Why can't we do that for education? Why can't we do that for education? I think there's a larger thing that's discussed when we talk about them being the propaganda indoctrination wing of the state academia, K through 12, doesn't matter really. They are the most protective of the institution of the state because that's how they get their money. Who's always leading the charge when you say, all right, I want to get rid of this, and this, decentralize that? Who is leading the charge? The academics. They're the ones that they put in front of you and they're getting away and they say, no, we can't. These are my employers. You know what I'm saying? These are my inefficient ass employers and I'm reaping the benefits. We can't have what it is that you are advocating here. We can't have that, but it's rotten and it encourages this bad behavior right here.